All right, good morning. Okay, welcome to the channel for the Black Opinionated Woman. This is a place where women can feel safe to dissent. So, what I am doing is I'm re recording because yesterday I was a ding dong and I muted the entire recording. You're going to have to excuse the hair. It hasn't been done yet for work. I am going in today for a few hours. It is the day before Thanksgiving, but since I need to get my kids on a bus, I'm going to be recording. Yeah, I don't know why are they even having school today. But anyway, so I want to talk about Black women in submission, or the myth surrounding Black women in submission. So first, what I want to do is I'm going to just talk about what is it. Let me put this up there too. Let's talk about what it is, okay? So um, when you look up the definition, it talks about submission is basically when you're not trying to resist the will of your husband. If you're talking like in biblical sense or whatever, okay? When you're not trying to resist the will of your husband. And there's other things that are associated with it, right? It's about having a mutual respect, and there's a responsibility you have to each other, right? It's about meeting certain sets of requirements. Like, let me just say this: when a woman submit, now I'm going to get to this whole Black woman portion, okay? I just want you to catch this for a second. It is a gift when someone submits to you. You know, now if I'm speaking biblically, they talk about like he who finds a wife finds a good thing, right? So it is a big deal when you find someone like that. So oftentimes, I'm not saying that you are not valued, because obviously, like, you know, God loves people who are single too. But I want you guys to catch this for a second. Submission is not being clubbed over their head. It is not being inferior. It's not being told, you know, what to do. Submission is more of a gift. So, and I want you to catch this. Now, listen. When you submit, the person who is gaining this submission, there is a responsibility. There's requirements. So when people talk about they want women to submit, there are requirements for that, right? Because you have this gift, you got to protect. And there's a level of provision, okay? You got to provide a level of security. There are things that come with this um, submission. There's trust. See, because when someone submits, they're going to be allowed to be vulnerable, and you have to cherish this gift to you. Now, when you are submitting, you know, you want to be selfless. There's acts of service, but it goes both ways. The mutual respect, it goes both ways. Now, there are people who can talk about submission much better than me, who are much more eloquent, but so many people are going to like lean in on this, wives submit to your husband, and they don't really understand what that means. So I've had people before say, oh, you're submissive to your husband. Now, for those of you who know me, I got a whole lot of mouth. But submission does not look like, yes, sir, right away, sir. That's not what that looks like. There's a time for that in like maybe the military or something. So this is the thing. My husband doesn't put me in a position where I have to feel inferior or any of those things. I pretty much run the house. There's got to be a tiebreaker in decisions, but I make most of the decisions anyway. But for the most part, we have a lot of conversations. Submission is not being clubbed over the head. It is not being inferior and just being told what to do. Now, where am I going with this? I have a point. I want you to stick with me for a second. First, I want to just talk about this real quick, because I know a lot of Black men like to say um, Black women are obsessed with white men. I mean, let me rephrase that. They like to say that Black women will be more submissive to white men. I don't think their whiteness has anything to do with it. When Black women choose to engage in a relationship with white men, what they're doing is they're allowing themselves to be vulnerable. Generally, from my understanding, I could be wrong, those relationships, those men make these women feel secure. They're allowed to be vulnerable. They feel protected. Look, this isn't going to be long. So you want to know, when will Black women submit? So I want you guys to listen for a second, okay? Because I'm going to speak for any woman, and I'll circle back to Black women. Women in general, women in general will submit if they are feeling financially secure, physically secure, sexually secure, emotionally secure, educationally secure, spiritually secure. The theme surrounding that is security. Okay? Women naturally will submit. There are edge cases to everything. For those of the super feminists out there, they're going to be angry. They're allowed to be angry. I don't care. Go be angry. But women naturally submit. They will submit if you take care of whatever it is that needs to be taken care of. If they are secure. Okay? I want everybody to catch this. So, if we were going to circle back to the Black women for a second, Black women do submit. They're no different than any other women. But what's going on right now, there's an attack on Black women. There's an attack in the music. There's an attack in the media. There's an attack in visual representation. You got the wackadoodles out here in these weird spheres talking nonsense. They want women to submit, and there's no table for them to bring their accoutrements to. There's no solid table. You want women who had to hold it down because the men were there for a variety of reasons. Some of it was due to laws in jail. Some of it's just due to shenanigans. Some of it's due to maybe the relationships didn't work out, whatever. The reasons are the reasons. At this point, I'm going to say the reasons don't matter. The point is, when you have a group of women who have had to hold it down, there was a pendulum shift. It was shifted so far to one side. They had to be the providers and the confidants and the emotional caretakers. They had to rear the children. They had to secure education. They had to secure careers because they couldn't find it in the community. So now they have tried their best to create these protection mechanisms to provide some form of security for their survival. And now you want them to just suddenly submit. But what have you done to make them feel secure? Women like security. So I'll give you a short story for myself, just to give you some context. When I met my husband, I was already doing well in my career. I was making really good money. I was making a lot of money, but he was making like a lot more than me. I owned my own home. Actually, I owned two homes at the time. And, you know, as we were going along and we decided we wanted to be with each other and further things, and we started having 500 kids, you know what happened? There were several things that happened. As we were going along, number one, he said, you need to leave that job and go get a different job. This is right before we were going to get married anyway. It was like a year before we got married. Maybe 2 years, can't remember. Anyway, the point was, he goes, you should leave that job. Go to this job, you're going to make a lot more money, blah, blah, blah. I'll help you out. And I trusted him, and I did. Because I was already in a decent position. He was like, trust me. Let me show you how this works. As we went along and he worked for himself, he started working for himself for a period of time. You know what happened? My career took a back seat. My income went from here to here. I was a stay-at-home mom for about 3 years. Now, let me just say this. I recognize that not everybody has that opportunity to be home with their children. But I was put in a situation where I felt secure enough I could do that. He provided. He was a provider. I mean, I felt safe. There were periods of times when he would travel for a couple of weeks to like Thailand and Japan and the UK and all these other places. And I was home with our children. I felt comfortable and safe enough where I didn't have to work this job, take care of the kids, I didn't have to do everything. I didn't. He provided and he protected. And then I felt secure for a period of time. And then I started feeling insecure again, but that's a whole other issue. And so while he would do these things and to take care of our family, I would do these other things where I took care of him because he was taking care of me and the children. So when people would say like, oh, you do his laundry, you do this, you do that, I'm like, we're a team. He's out here killing it and slaying for us. And I live very comfortably in our old house. It's a very nice house. I'm like, we're a team. Why would I not? So let me just circle back. Black women submit. But the problem is, if we're sticking within the community right now, because the community is so fractured and so divided, there are these ridiculous notions that submission comes free. No, sir. Submission is not free. There are responsibilities that come with it. You are required to do certain things. You want her to see you in your fully manly self. Well, you got to allow for her to be her fully feminine self, whatever that means. And trust me, I'm no wallflower. I'm not a wallflower. So, Black women do submit when they feel secure, just like any other woman. They're not more submissive to white men because they're white. They're probably more submissive because they feel protected and loved and desired. They're not called names. I mean, you can find an edge case or anything. They're being provided for whatever reasons, whatever they need, those needs are being met. Those needs are being met. Shenanigans out here. Everyone's thinking that Black women don't submit. It is flat out not true. Okay? It's not true. All right, so let me put this up here real quick. I just want to say this wasn't meant to be really long. I am sorry that I had to re-record this. I was like dummying up yesterday, Look, I'm human. But look, if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe. The subscription doesn't cost you anything other than the couple of like micro calories it takes to hit the subscribe button. Hopefully you liked it. More importantly, if you have any comments, I would love to hear your thoughts on submission. I know submission is triggering for many Black women in particular because they haven't been given the opportunity to submit. I see plenty of Black women out here submitting to their husbands. All right. So, for those of you who are looking at this, I know you're like, what is going on with the hair? You're going to leave me alone? You're going to leave me alone? I don't even know what I'm going to do to it when I'm done. But, all right. That's pretty much it. Thanks, guys. I'm going to roll up out of here. Have a happy Thanksgiving.